everyone, hello, it's Emma Langton here, just popping on for my Tuesday morning, just little live tips and broadcast. So, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about your language, if I can stop my camera moving around. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about your language. I posted last week about whether you think you can do change, and the way that we speak to each other and the things that we say to ourselves is massively important, I believe, for enabling us to make some changes, to be able to feel that we can do things, that we can achieve things, that we can feel better about ourselves and reach those goals, just to do those jobs and the things that we want to do. So, it's really lovely to have you on here, or if you're coming back and listening to the replay, that's absolutely great. If you have any questions for me, or you want to just let me know that you're here, just put a comment or a little hello in the comment section. Ask any questions there in the comment section too, either whilst I'm broadcasting, or even if you're coming back and listening to it on the on the replay. And because I'll pop back in and try and answer any questions that you might have there too. Okay, so there's my puppy just leaving the room. He obviously thinks I'm really quite boring. That's my door opening behind me. So I wanted to talk to you about your language. What's your language? And I'm really not talking about all the swearing, any effing and jeffing that you might decide to do in your day. That's entirely up to you. I want you to think about the language that you use when you're talking either to yourself or about things that are going on, about changes, about the change of season, which I talked about last time, about autumn, about winter. I want you to begin to think about the language that you use. And I thought it was kind of quite relevant and appropriate for me to talk to you about this, because I did talk a bit last time about change, and because, you know, it's got a bit chillier this week, the card is out. I really am going to have to put away all my summer stuff in my wardrobe. And I've been talking to people and hearing people saying, I can't do winter. I don't like winter. And that might be true. I mean, you can do winter because you've done all of them for the duration of your life, hopefully, unless you've managed to hibernate, which, if you have, can you put the tips in the bottom about how you manage to keep everything going and hibernate at the same time, because I think a lot of people would like that. But you can do winter. You maybe don't like doing winter. So I want you to talk to you about the language that you use. I want to explain a little bit today about how your brain functions and what your brain kind of thinks and hears when you're using that sort of language that we would call negative language. And I want to give you a little tip about how to change those phrases too. So, watching your language. You know, I mean, we just talk, don't we? Here I am just rambling away, really. We just talk. And often we don't stop to think or even really properly listen to ourselves with the things that we are saying and whatever it is that we are doing. But as I said, I'm hearing people saying, I can't do winter, I don't like this, I can't do that, I can't cope with, and lots of negative words in there. So there's the can't, the cannot, the don't, the won't, the couldn't, shouldn't, and things like that. And it's about the words that we use. When you begin to think about what I'm saying, and it plants a little seed there, you may then find yourself hearing that you're also saying, I can't do this, I don't like that. And when you begin to pick up on that language, then you can actually do something about it. So we're kind of raising your awareness of it so that then you can do something, and then you can change it to get it better. Okay. What the brain hears, the brain is very kind of black and white in the way that it kind of functions and how it hears things and what it does. So the brain really will only hear negatives. Brilliant, eh? No wonder things are a bit difficult for us. So when we are saying things like, if you try and change things into a positive, if you go, I'm not stressed or I'm not busy, the brain just hears busy, stressed. So it doesn't pick up on that negative wording. So then we need to try and change that. We need to recognise that the brain's just going to hear that negative phraseology and those negative words in being stressed and in being busy and in being the things about that we don't like winter, and because we don't want to reinforce that. So what we then need to do is to begin to listen and hear ourselves when we're making and saying those phrases and we're making those comments. And when we do that, we can begin to pick up on it. And when we begin to pick up on it, it's quite interesting what it is that we hear. There was some stuff going around on the internet a little while ago about, I think it was Dove did some videos where they had somebody film somebody with the way that they talked about themselves. And then they sat somebody on a different table just beside them, and they kind of had that different person have those same conversations that a first person had just had. I hope I'm making sense with this. And you could see this person begin to think, that's not very helpful, that's not really very nice, that's not a decent way to talk to somebody. And then it was pointed out to them that actually that was the way that they were talking about themselves or to themselves. So it's quite important that you just have a little listen to the things that you're saying. Have a listen to the phrases. When I talk to you about this, then it might just plant that seed in your mind, and you begin to pick up on it and you begin to hear the things that you're saying. And when you hear the things that you are saying, you can begin to do something about it. Okay. So have a little listen to yourself. Okay. As long as what you're not constantly hearing is you going, na, 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 na. And sometimes it is coming kind of from you, and sometimes it's a bit about what people maybe call the mind monkeys or the negative Nelly or you know, the little chimp inside your head that's kind of going on at you. Have a little listen now and then. Okay. Good. When you've had a little listen and you've picked up on the things, you can then begin to change that phrase, that phraseology. You can begin to change the wordings that you use. So you can begin to put in some more positives, or at least tone things down a bit. So if it is that I don't like winter, or that I'm really stressed, you can begin to change that phrasing. And if it is about I don't like winter, then have a little think about how else you might be able to say that makes it that, yeah, okay, it's maybe not your favouriteest month of the year. It's maybe not your favouriteest season. However, what is there that you do like about it? Is there something? Is it snuggling up in the warm jumpers? Is it, you know, the cosy fire? Is it sitting with a hot chocolate? Is it Christmas? Is it whatever it is? And find something in there that there is a bit more positivity, that there is something that's kind of just okay. Or then at least phrase that sentence in being, you know, well, winter's not my favourite, but it's okay. You know, and try and keep that phrase in and that language a bit more positive. You don't need to be all singing and dancing and jumping for joy and whooping about it. Absolutely not. But you can change it into something that's a little bit more positive. If it's about kind of things in your everyday life, like I'm so stressed and I'm so busy and I can't do this or I can't cope, which, you know, are things that I hear a lot. As I say, I work with the stress and anxiety, and that just kind of either jumps up at people or it feels like it takes over a bit. And I really get that. So it's about how can you do those little changes easily. So then when you've got that phrase, it's about thinking about changing an odd word here and there or tweaking it a little bit. You know, gosh, I'm really, really busy. However, I'm going to break it down into small tasks, or I'm going to keep going. I can do this. you know. So there's a however, there's a but, there's something else at the end of it. So it's not about totally dismissing and kind of ignoring what's going on in your life or ignoring how you feel. It's recognising how you feel. Or even though I'm really busy, I feel like I can do, or I feel that I can, or that I will. So that's how you can begin to rephrase things. If you get stuck with how you can rephrase things and you recognise there's a common phrase that comes up for you and you struggle with how, let me know, put something in the comments, or drop me a message if you don't want it up and out there and letting everybody know about it. Drop me a little message and I can give you some tips and tweaks about how you can change your phrase so that it can begin to be a little bit more positive and feel a little bit less like it's going to drag you down. Okay, so just to recap, listen to the words that you're using, listen to your own language. Remember how the brain functions and the way that the brain hears things so that you recognise that you want to kind of stop reinforcing things right now. And then pick up that phrase that you've been using and see where you can change this. See if you can tweak some of the wordings or put something a little bit more positive at the end of it. Give it a go. I'd really love to know how you get on. Okay? So there are more blogs, more information on my website, and there's much more information about me too. So you can pop over there at www.emmalangton.co.uk. There are blogs, there's a page about me, and there's more information about me and my work on there. And that can give you some more information. And I'd really love to see you back on here again, or visit my website and drop me a note there with how you get on. Okay, bye for now.